Bro, what a crazy last 2 weeks it's been for hip-hop. Some of the most memorable moments I've ever had on YouTube listening to songs and just seeing the community, seeing people talk about rap again, makes me feel all warm and fuzzy inside because it was getting stale there for a little bit. So Drake and Kendrick have made technically 8 songs back and forth to each other, so it kind of feels like the beef might be over, or at least settled and died down here for a little bit. I think it's been 4 or 5 days since a diss track has been released from either side, and I know that might not seem like a long time, but in this battle, it is, when people are dropping 3 songs in 24 hours. But since everything has finally calmed down for a little bit, I think it's the perfect time to sit back and rank these tracks. So let's take a look at these 8 songs and put them in order for my listening preference. It's going to be a lot different than everybody else's, from worst to best. My criteria is kind of all over the place. Obviously, I think disses are the most important part of it, whether they be good or whether they be bad. Disproven, false allegations, I take all that into consideration. I take how the song actually sounds, like am I going to listen to it again? Is it a one and done? And then I want to take a look at impact and see what it has done in the culture in the short time that we've had them. So, a lot to dive into, but most importantly, I want to see your ranking list in the comments below. But alright, let's dive into this list. The 8 songs that we're going to be taking a look at are like the full songs made towards each other. So just in order of when they released, we got Push-Ups, Made Freestyle, Euphoria, 616 in LA, Family Matters, Meet the Grams, Not Like Us, and then The Heart Part 6. But okay, coming in at the number 8 spot, the worst track in all these, I think everybody's pretty much going to agree on this one, it's unanimous, is the Made Freestyle. This was the second song released, and it was Drake kind of pushing Kendrick's button like, yo, you gotta respond now. I'm not gonna let you get off the hook by saying these disses and then walking away and not doing anything. I'm sure he kind of regrets that now because he's been overloaded. Had the whole AI thing on there with Snoop Dogg and Tupac. The song actually doesn't even exist. It got taken down. Tupac's estate was threatening to sue Drake over the AI usage. It was a fun, creative little song, but I think everybody knows it was just to kind of poke the bear a little bit and get Kendrick to come out of his slumber. At the number 7 spot, I've got 616 in LA. I kind of view this one similarly to the Made Freestyle. It was just Kendrick going back to back again and really poking Drake's bear this time. And to be honest, the reason I have this down here is when I'm going back looking through all these songs, I can't even really remember what this one sounded like. So obviously it didn't really stick with me and have a kind of impact that I wanted. I also feel like not as many people really talked about this one, but going back and listening to it, there was like the first half where it was him just really rapping, showing that he can rap, and then the second half was the diss towards Drake. It was great to continue to push the beef forward and put his foot on Drake's neck, but again, nothing really long lasting, nothing that kind of stands out for me. Coming in at the number 6 spot, fittingly, is The Heart Part 6. This one was hard for me to rank because it's more so just Drake defending himself the entire time instead of taking shots at Kendrick. And Joe Budden said it perfectly, I like Drake more on offense than defense. And this is him defending him not being a pedophile, not being a sexual abuser. But there was some stuff in this song that deranked some of Kendrick's songs for me. For example, him saying that he set up the whole fake daughter allegations thing. I'll talk more about that in here in just a little bit. But again, it's a purely defensive song. You could tell that Drake is tired of the beef. He even says it at the end of the track saying you really got this shit burnt the fuck out. Which is funny because it's just Kendrick throwing this back into Drake's face, what he does to people. The whole back-to-back thing is what Drake started. Overloading somebody with diss tracks. And now what's happening to him doesn't really like it. That to me drops it way down. The song itself is alright to listen to, but I can just hear it in his voice. He's tired, doesn't want to do it anymore. There's not that oomph that Drake usually has in diss tracks. Coming in at number 5, definitely going to be a controversial opinion here. I have Meet the Grams. Now if you asked me this the day after I reacted to it, it probably would be 1 or 2. This shit was damning. It was cutthroat straight to his soul. Wasn't trying to make it catchy, was just talking directly to him, be like, look, you fucked up. This is why you fucked up. This is all the shitty stuff that you've done. I'm going to talk about your family now and tell your family about all the shitty stuff they've done and all the shitty stuff you've done and how they're bad parents for raising you. I'm going to talk directly to your son and tell him how shitty of a dad you are. I'm going to tell him I'll be his dad. The verse about Adonis, the verse about Sandra and Dennis, his dad, and directly to Drake were all like, Jesus, man, this hurts. But then we got the verse about the daughter. It has come out that Drake does not have a daughter and that Kendrick was fed false information. Drake is saying that he set up the false information. Now, whether that is true, we don't know. But that is absolutely why it's dropped so much for me. Because he tried to go the Pusha T route and drop a bomb on everybody saying that he's hiding a child from the world. But this time, there wasn't any proof of it. And still hasn't been any proof of it. And then Kendrick dropped another song later on that day, which kind of proves my point that I think he knows he fucked up with that. So he dropped another song to overshadow everything. And I've even seen people on Twitter take the verse out about the daughter and then post it. Be like, yeah, if that was it, this would be 1 or 2. At number 4, I've got Push-Ups. This shit was catchy as hell and it gets stuck in my head all the time, but it is what sparked this entire thing. And this is kind of what I wish the battle would have stayed as. Just nice little friendly jabs, the short jokes, shitting on their catalog. He had that small double entendre about being with the bodyguards like Whitney, so he did kind of bring family into it a little bit, but it was just kind of friendly jabs. This whole thing felt friendly and like competitive rap beef where I wanted it to stay in this song. Again, super catchy, bouncy, a lot of memorable punchlines. Metro Boomin caught one of the funniest bars of the whole beef, and just the way he delivered flavor this is that oomph and that swagger that Drake has. When he says, how the fuck you big steppin' with a size 7 man's on? You just feel that shit, man. You're bouncing to it and you're nodding your head, and that swagger, that oomph, and that delivery is just there. Coming in at number 3, I have Euphoria. Holy balls, what a response to Push-Ups and the Made Freestyle. Now, it did take about 2 weeks for this to come out, but I think Kendrick was working on all of these songs to stack them up and load them up, and then he could just drop bang, 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 and overload Drake. Executed his plan to perfection. I truly feel like Drake was waiting back. It's like, this motherfucker's never gonna say anything to me, and now he's just got everything stacked up and loaded, and Drake is playing from behind now. But again, this still felt a little bit friendly with Euphoria. Got a little dark at certain points, but everything was competitive with this one. When those trumpets come in after the first 30 seconds or so, and he says, don't tell no lies about me, and I won't tell truths about you, sheesh! Just shows off really great rap skills, shits on Drake's catalog a little bit. Just a really great response, really great sounding song. And again, if the whole battle would have stayed Push-Ups, Euphoria related, probably wouldn't have somebody get shot at Drake's mansion, probably wouldn't have so much division, but beef is beef. Can't control how beef goes. Alright, going into the top 2, and this was definitely the hardest for me to rank, and I think the longer this has gone on and the longer the impact that I've seen, it kind of helps me confirm how I've got these two ranked. So at number 2, I've got Family Matters. Now, as far as diss songs, Family Matters I think is definitely the better diss. As far as information shared, style switch-ups, Drake being on offense most of the time, crushing the Good Kid Mad City vein, going to New Hope King in Toronto and eating the meal that Kendrick rapped about, having Pharrell's jewelry on and putting it on the owner of New Hope King. Just a lot of really good rebuttals in this song, and again, catchiness. So as a diss, it is by far the best diss of all of them. But unfortunately, it was overshadowed because Meet the Grams dropped 30 minutes after this. If this had been given time to set in with the public, I think everybody would be talking about this one way more. But because Kendrick had these songs loaded up on deck, ready to go, it diluted the effect of this song. And then obviously Not Like Us at number 1. You just see the impact that this has on hip-hop, and it's hard to not put this at number 1. Obviously a super catchy song, can't get this shit out of my head, but you see everybody dancing to this. They're playing it on NBA Central now. They're playing it at clubs. They're playing it at pool parties. Joe Budden is fucking Crypt walking on his podcast. Everybody is losing their mind to this song. It's the number 1 song on Billboard right now. Has the best punchline of the entire beef on it with the A minor bar. Now, I did see last night where people were saying that he took some of the bars from Twitter, and I've seen screenshots of people saying some of these bars years ago, but they only got like 100 or 200 views on them, so more than likely Kendrick did not take them. Just a coincidence. But for me, this was Kendrick going to Drake's field and beating him on his own turf. Drake is notorious for the catchy diss songs. This is one of the most catchy diss songs there has ever been put out. And while it doesn't have the best actual hitting disses in the beef, I think overall it's the most impact. So there's my list. Please let me know your list down in the comments. I want to argue. I want to see you guys go to war down there. How shitty is my list? Let me know. But thank you so much for watching this video. We will see if more tracks come out. I did see academics say that there was a song that was supposed to come out 2 days ago, but when Drake's security guard got shot at his mansion, it kind of put everything on halt. Not sure if it will continue on after that. It's a pretty serious matter. And that's where things get super weird for me. Like, I don't like that shit. I just want it to be rap beef and competitive. I don't want personal stuff to happen like that. I got called super white on Twitter because I said that. Awesome. I might be super white, but I have spread hip-hop to millions, so you're welcome. All right, I'm done. Love you guys. This is my music if you want to check me out. Peace out. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I catch a hater by his toe and hang him high up in the sky until he cries to stop the jokes. I be catching bullets like Houdini, but I'll never fold, cause I be getting stronger with every shot like a cortisone. People wanna talk like I'm a fictional person, like I will pull up to your crib like a shepherd and get to hurting. Like the fuck did you say? You didn't mean it? Okay. There for a second I thought you really wanted to dig a grave.